Rise of the Ronin is an upcoming action RPG in development from Team Ninja, set to release on March 22nd. The game will be a PS5 exclusive with no plans at this time to bring the game to other platforms. Rise of the Ronin has been described as a mixture of some other popular titles. It features a stunning Japanese setting reminiscent of Ghost of Tsushima. It has an Assassin's Creed-like world full of activities and exploration, as well as intense combat similar to the Dark Souls series. Rise of the Ronin is said to be Team Ninja's most ambitious game thus far, which is very noteworthy considering the success of their previous titles. So far the game has featured 2 trailers, one announcing the game and a second confirming the game's release date. While we still don't have a full picture of what the game will have to offer, there's still plenty that we can dive into, so let's discuss what we know about Rise of the Ronin. Let's discuss the game's story, which will be a blend of both fictional and historical storytelling. The game's story includes some references to real-life events and people from the game's time period, but it also includes plenty of fiction and dramatization as well. Rise of the Ronin is set in 19th century Japan during the Edo era's twilight, specifically the Bakumatsu period. This is a period of Japanese history characterized by civil war, disease outbreaks, and foreign interests. In the trailer we can see Westerners arriving by ship as well as an American embassy featured in the trailer, which helps to fuel the political unrest at the time. You will assume the role of a Ronin, a samurai without a master. During this time, Ronins were known as ruthless work-for-hires, warriors known as veiled edges. They would travel across Japan working for hire and eliminating any target that got in their way. As a Ronin, you maintain no loyalty, providing you with freedom in your decision-making and movement within the game world, allowing you to set your own course. And as we'll discuss later, your decisions throughout the journey will impact the fate of Japan. In Rise of the Ronin, your character is customizable, allowing you to further immerse yourself in the game world. Team Ninja is promising an intense story, delving into Japan's critical historical revolution, including some of the country's darkest chapters. The game's producer, Yosuke Hayashi, discussed the game's story and setting, saying this quote, "We wanted this new Bakumatsu, which is sort of the end of the Edo era. It's a lot more modern, so we thought it allows for a unique setting when we were thinking about creating a fiction story inspired by a certain moment in time. It allowed for a very unique setting for us." The story focuses on the final days of the Tokugawa shogunate, allowing you to make impactful choices aligned with or against historical characters. The Tokugawa shogunate was the military government of Japan for nearly 300 years during the Edo period. The significant choices that you choose along the way will greatly affect the unfolding story. This branching narrative is something new for Team Ninja compared to some of their previous titles, which offer a more linear story. However, this is a chance for Team Ninja to make Rise of the Ronin truly stand out. You will decide what your path will be, and you will side with who you believe to be right. Will you side with those in power, the Tokugawa shogunate and their dwindling control, or will you support those looking to modernize the country? Or will you make the choice to have no loyalties at all, looking only out for yourself? So far, we have seen 6 characters that will meet in game, and apologies in advance if I get any of these names wrong. Let's start with the Sabaku pro-shogunate side. We have seen Naosuke II, or Naosuke Lee, the chief minister of the shogunate. He opens the country up to working with Western powers and foreign trade. He inherited the nickname the Red Demon and is known for mercilessly suppressing his opposition. We have also seen Taka Murahama, a famed geisha from Yokohama. We've also seen a couple characters from the Tobaku anti-shogunate side. Formerly of the Tosa clan, Ryoma Sakamoto is a Ronin with an earnest soul. He is both a master of swordplay and a sharpshot with a Western-style pistol. There is also Kaguro Katsura, who is the feudal retainer of the Chosu clan. He is a compassionate soul with a level-headed approach who serves as a mentor for others. Then we've also seen a couple characters from the influential Western side. We've seen Matthew Perry, the Commodore of the US Navy at the time, who sails to Japan on the order of President Fillmore. He is looking to compel the opening of Japan before other Western powers get the chance. And finally, we have Rutherford Alcock, a British diplomat tasked with assessing Japan's economic value. He is a former surgeon with a profound fascination with Japanese craftsmanship. From the informationals that we've seen, we see that each character possesses a unique weapon. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a way to obtain these weapons in game, as they are clearly a representation of each character and what they stand for. Team Ninja have stated that your destiny will be linked to the characters in game. You can decide who to align with, and as previously mentioned, these decisions will matter. The game will feature something called a bond system, where you can form bonds with the characters you meet, with the game's director stating, quote, "A lot of the motivation for exploring the world is centered around these systems of bonds with characters and locations. So you not only can bond with different characters, but you will also create bonds with different locations, which will likely provide you with some sort of boost or in-game advantage. The more missions you complete here or the more people you help, the greater your bond with that location." In an official blog post, Team Ninja discussed how this allows for replayability, allowing you to go back and choose different sides, go through different quests and stories that you may not have seen the first time. Rise of the Ronin will reportedly have different endings that you can also achieve, which will be impacted by the conversations you have in game and the choices that you make on side quests. But just how much of an impact these choices will have is still yet to be seen. Rise of the Ronin is set in an open world, which will be an interesting change in comparison to some previous Team Ninja games, which have been more linear in design. Some of the game's traversal options include on-foot travel and travel on horses, which will be the two main methods of travel. You will also have a grappling hook that will allow you to move more quickly across buildings and from the ground to higher locations, as well as a glider that will allow you to sail through the air. Throughout this open world, you will meet various characters, each belonging to different factions with their own beliefs and values. Some of the known cities that you will visit include Yokohama, Kyoto, and Edo, which is now known today as Tokyo. There will also be numerous points of interest and options to explore in the countryside between the major cities as well. Now, the size of the game's world is a real point of intrigue, with obvious comparisons being drawn to Ghost of Tsushima, known for its expansive and beautiful setting. And Team Ninja is expected to aim for a similarly impressive world, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more from this game at the next Sony State of Play. True to Team Ninja's reputation, Rise of the Ronin will feature intense and deadly combat. You will use blade weapons like katanas and spears, along with ranged weapons such as throwables and period-accurate firearms, like revolvers and rifles. The game's combat system seems to allow switching between traditional and modern weaponry, though more detailed mechanics are still mostly unknown. You will experience both long and short range combat, and with combat featuring mechanics such as parrying and backstabs. The majority of the combat appears to be close ranged, with your katana playing a large role. However, we've also seen some incredible gameplay using the grapple hook in combination with some other weapons. We've seen the grapple hook used to pull our character toward enemies and even throw objects at them. We've also seen the ability to use fire on your katana to increase its effectiveness and just overall cool factor. As I mentioned, your ability to parry will play a big role in combat, so learning how to deflect enemy blows and counter their attacks will be crucial. From the trailer, we've also seen that some enemies and attacks will not be able to be parried, as indicated with a red flash before the attack. This will require you to use different methods and strategies of attack and defense. Many of Team Ninja's previous games have shared Souls-like mechanics. However, Rise of the Ronin won't be a Souls-like, but some of those elements will still remain. The game will feature a currency system known as Karma, which will be dropped upon your death and can be reclaimed after you defeat the enemy that dealt the killing blow. According to Team Ninja, this will not be the main XP system used in game. Karma will actually be a separate system not specifically tied to leveling up your character, and I'm very interested to see how the two systems, or maybe even more systems, will work together. Team Ninja have also discussed with Game Informer that studying enemy patterns and actually failing in battle will help you improve your gameplay, so in the future you'll be better equipped to deal with enemies. So it sounds like the game will still be quite challenging in many aspects, similar to previous Team Ninja games. We've also seen that there will be other elements such as different combat styles that you can use. Specifically, we've seen this with your katana. Stealth tactics will also play a crucial role, as we saw in the release date trailer. You will have options such as killing, sparing, or assassinating your targets. One exciting thing is that your mobility tools can actually be used to aid you in stealth and assassinations, with the grapple hook allowing you to get an advantageous position, and then the glider allowing you to fly over and actually drop down on your opponent for an assassination, which I think is pretty incredible. Some of the information we know about the game has come from leaks, specifically from known leaker The Snitch. While these aspects of the game aren't fully confirmed, as I mentioned, they do come from a pretty reliable leak source. So let's go ahead and discuss those. Alongside main story quests, Rise of the Ronin offers a variety of side quests similar to a Ubisoft style design. The game will feature different difficulty options as well as a skill/technique tree. It'll be interesting to see how this skill tree compares to some other similar games, such as, you guessed it, Ghost of Tsushima, which I'm sure this game is going to get plenty of comparisons, if not already. More detailed lore about the game will be expanded upon through items that you pick up. which is obviously a classic RPG method to help expand that game lore and world, and something I really love. There are also some planned romance options in the game. We don't know too much about this yet, but it's always fun to see. And the game will also feature both performance and quality modes for those who either want to focus on their gameplay performance or those who want to enhance the game's visual fidelity. Rise of the Ronin will offer 2 game editions for you to choose from. The first is the standard edition, coming in at around $70 US and offers just the base game. The digital deluxe edition comes in at around $80 US and offers the full game, those pre-order bonuses as before, a digital art book, and a digital soundtrack. It also has some additional in-game cosmetic items, such as a Japanese formal wear set, a ninja staff, paired swords, and a Bando warrior armor set. Rise of the Ronin is Team Ninja's most ambitious project yet, releasing exclusively on PS5 March 22nd. It's an action-packed RPG that blends intense combat with an exciting narrative, diving into one of Japan's most critical periods. I'm really excited to learn more about Rise of the Ronin. Hopefully they'll release some more information and gameplay here in the near future, and I'm excited to try and check it out when it actually does release. So be sure and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you'd like to know more about some of the exciting games that are releasing in 2024, be sure and click the video on screen where I discuss 30 of the best games that are going to be releasing this year. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.